Hey guys, it's BW and we're back out in the garage. In this video, we're going to install our Super Duty hood scoop on our tilt nose of the 55 Chevy. Alright, I've been looking forward to this. We want to get it grafted on in such a way that it looks like it always belonged there. To me, it is the only hood scoop that belongs on a Tri-5. They are perfect for them. Alright. But I wanted to give a shout out to Chopper Mike up in Canada. He's a professional car builder. You guys that do Friday Night Live will recognize the name. I reached out to him. He's actually doing a 55 Chevy for a guy named Gino up in Canada. And they have a Tinberg chassis under their 55. So they're very similar builds. And he actually put a Super Duty scoop on Gino's. So I reached out to him, talked about his location and where he put his, and he actually shared with me the procedure, the proper procedure, the one he used to put the hood scoop on, and we're going to follow the same procedure. It's like, it worked for Mike. He knows what he's doing, and I just wanted to give a shout out and say thank you for sharing that information with me. We're actually putting our hood scoop a couple inches forward of where he put his. His is probably in the exact location it's supposed to be, but I just kept playing with mine, and mine's actually a couple inches forward. I think it'll be fine though. All right. The only difference I think is he riveted his down to hold it while the panel adhesive set up, and we're going to bolt ours down because ours still has the studs on it. All right. And we still have our front grill for ours as well. So, and he does too. But you know, that's where I'm at with that. All right. Before we get started and go through the steps of the hood scoop and how we're going to install it, I figured I'd let you guys know. I watched a video. I guess it was about, I don't know, a little more than a week ago, over there at Uncle Tony's garage. That's one of my favorite channels. But he did a video on the hood scoop on his slag hammer gasser, and they got the Grumpy Jenkins job on that one. Really cool, and it was a really cool video, and it actually inspired me to actually go back and do some research and learn the origins of my hood scoop, and it's really fascinating. It's they originally were put out by Ford Motor Company. 1958, they started putting them on their F800 through 1100 big job Fords and big trucks to run in their gasoline engines to compete against the diesels for the big, you know, the big work, the contractor work and stuff like that. So that's where they came from. And Pontiac actually sourced them from Ford in 1963, and they put them on 13 of the Tempests and 14 of the Catalina 421s, Super Duties. So I found that fascinating. I mean, it's really neat. I actually thought that they were on all the early anything Super Duty from Pontiac, and that's just not true. Now, some guys went back and put them on there, but they weren't on there until 63, and the factory only put out, well, like I said, 27 of them. So I found that really cool. Now, where they come up with the idea is up for conjecture, argument, or whatever. A lot of people, I think there was one in one of the jalopy treads I was reading where a guy said, yeah, well, it was Arnie the farmer Breswick that came up with the idea, and it could be true. I don't know. That I can't say that it is or it isn't. I just know that Pontiac did source the part from Ford Motor Company. All right, and Breswick did have the Super Duty hood scoop on his 63 Tempest wagon, 421 wagon, the grocery getter, the famous grocery getter. And he's probably the best Pontiac driver they ever had. So there's a possibility that that's true. I can't say that it is or it isn't. But I did find out about the hood scoop as much as I could. And there's plenty of articles online. A lot of the information I got was on the Motor Trend article I read. Any of you guys can go back and look it up. Look up Artie Brunswick, and whether he come up with the idea or not, I don't know. All right, but that's you know, stuff I found out, and I thought I'd share it with you guys. I thought it was really fascinating. All right. Another thing that I always thought on these was, everybody's always saying, well, the grill is always missing on these hood scoops, or people buy the fiberglass ones that don't have the grill. And it is nice to have the grill. I wanted the grill on mine. But if I zoomed in, and if you zoom in on Arnie, the farmer Brunswick's grocery getter, he took the grill off. So all these guys that have the hood scoop and it's missing the grill, I'm wondering if a lot of the people that owned them previously took them off and just didn't want them on there. I guess they wanted maximum air going in there. You know, the more cold air, the better. I don't know. I can't get technical. I'm not as smart as Uncle Tony, but I have ideas. All right, so let me get the camera turned around. Let me show you how we're going to start installing this hood scoop. We'll go about it together. Just give me a minute. All right, guys, well, here it is. Here's the hood scoop sitting up on the tilt nose, right where I want it to be. All right, it looks like the perfect spot. I played with this thing and played with it until I found the perfect location. And like I said, ours is, it's only 2 inches forward of where Chopper Mike has his for Gino, so we're close. All right, you can see I have my template of the bottom of it taped down to the hood, and you can see the studs for this has it sitting up right now. So the first step is going to be to drill the holes for the studs so that the hood scoop drops down. Now, when it drops down, it's going to sit right on this body line. All right, so once it's sitting on the body line, we'll be able to scribe front and back, and that's where we're going to have to notch that out so that it can sit all the way down. All right, and once it's sitting all the way down, then we're going to line out the actual frame, the bottom of the hood scoop to the bottom of the hood, and cut out the metal in between. All right. At that point, we'll be in a holding pattern because I'm waiting for the panel adhesive to get here from Amazon. It will be here tomorrow. All right. Like I say, this thing's going to be glued down. And the way Mike described it to me is once you get it glued down, like the bolts are going to act like clamps. It's just going to hold it down when we put the nuts on there, and all the panel adhesive will come oozing out around the sides, and that's actually a good thing. He said just run your finger around it and then it'll dry and it sands real easy, and then it's going to look like it belongs on the hood. At least that's my hope. We'll see how it goes. I've never done it before, so we're going to learn this together. All right, so let me get these holes drilled and then I'll bring you back in. All right, guys, well, there you go. We got it bolted down. I think we only used 4 or 5 of the bolts right now. 2 of the studs are snapped off, and I snapped another one off. So I'll probably put a couple rivets on there like Mike did whenever I put the panel adhesive down. But it's sitting really nice. That's how we want it. I was a little confused when I was talking to him on the phone about this front here. He explained, I think he put a couple rivets into the corners where the bars are, where they would be hidden up in there, just to pull things down, I think. I got a little carried away with the wafer wheel right here. I'll make a little tiny weld repair tomorrow on the hood and grind it out, and nobody will ever know the difference. That the stuff that squeezed these out will probably take care of it anyway. So I'm probably just being a little ridiculous, but it's sitting down there really good. I did not cut the middle of the hood out yet, guys. All I did was take the body line off of it. Just got rid of that, and that made it front and back so it would sit all the way down. All right, I see what he was talking about now. When we put the panel adhesive around the whole thing, we'll be very generous with it, and when we push it down on and we bolt it up and it oozes out, we'll just kind of like caulk it in with our finger, let it dry, and then he said it sands really nice. And then we'll body work what we got to body work, but it's going to look like it belongs there, and it's always been there. I'm really digging it. All right, so we'll pick this up tomorrow, hopefully by tomorrow, and with the glue will be here. We can wrap this job up and I'll get this video out to you guys. All right. Hey guys, it's BW. We're back. It's about 2 days later. I've been messing around with this hood scoop. I had my buddy Mike stop by and help straighten me out. I mean, the hood is tin cannon. Let me show you what I mean by that and what's been going on. All right. my buddy come over and I was showing him when I put the hood scoop on. You guys can see how it dipped down right here, and it's down a little bit right here. It was also here, but the hood scoop picked that up. All right, and I don't know if you guys remember, but a few videos ago, probably about 3 videos ago, when we were talking about what we were going to do to this tilt nose, I showed you it had a big concave in it from where somebody sat. Anyway, there is a indentation in this hood right here, and you know what? We're not going to do a thing about it. It is what it is. That's pretty much where the hole's going to be. All right, well, there's the clip, all right? And what happened was I cut the hole out for the hood scoop, and it exaggerated it a little bit, all right? It accentuated that dent, all right? So we were going to live with it before, but now it's a little bit too much. But we have the hood scoop where we want it, and we have a solution to what we're going to do to straighten it out. I get about 95% of it out very simply. So let me put you guys back on stand here, and then I'll show you. Turn the camera around. All right, there you go. Just give me a second to put this up. There we go. And the leaves are really coming down today, guys. I'm gonna have to get the tractor back out and mulch them up, but man, they're falling. They're getting in the garage and everything. This is one of the last days I guess we're gonna be able to have the door open, so heck with it. All right, so you can see right here where the belly is. If I just pull this out, let me pull this out and watch. That takes about 90% of it out right there, boom. All right, and the same thing but less on the other side. So I'm going to make braces, all right, and then we're going to weld them to this. Well, first we'll weld them to the hood, all right, and then weld them to that, and that'll hold that out, and that gets rid of about 90-something% of it. I'll show you once I get them installed. And then we're back to where we was before when we said we could live with it. All right, so it'll come out pretty good. All right, I filled this one back in where I cut the middle out. I did it to this one too, but I found that I ended up notching it back out. It liked that little relief in there, so I left that one in there. All right, and I got clamps here and here that'll hold it while I use the panel adhesive for 24 hours, and then I could take those off. All right, and I put one up. I'm going to use one up here as well. It's not glued yet, don't worry, we're going to do that together. I was just playing with it. All right, so my next step is I'm going to take this piece of one of the pieces of hood that I had cut off, and I already got it lined out. I'm going to cut a couple strips and make a couple braces to put here and there, and when I get those fabbed up, I'll bring you guys back in. I'm just going to zip them off with the grinder, get the paint off, and then I'm going to fold them, make a little pieces of angle iron basically. All right, I'll be back in a few. All right guys, well, as you see, I put a light in here because I noticed in the last scene it got really dark. I apologize about that. But I made up these brackets using the remnants of that hole. They're basically just homemade angle irons. I got plug welds ready to go. Made a little bend up the top so that this shoves up underneath there. And then when you push it in, it goes in an 1/8 inch up there, and hopefully I'll weld it to the hood first and then push it in and make this plug weld here. And hopefully that should hold it. We'll see, said the blind man. I don't know. I've never done it, so we're going to find out. I got the other one laying right there. The thing is, I don't want to put those on yet. I want to epoxy glue panel adhesive this hood scoop on first, because if I put these on and then unbolt that, if it changes something else, I don't feel like going down that rabbit hole. We know what we got right now, so we're just going to set these aside. I'm going to get this unbolted, and then we'll come back in and we'll put the panel adhesive on and glue it down, clamp it down, bolt it down, and then we'll do the brackets. All right guys, you can see I got the hood scoop off. We've taken the area down to bare metal. Same thing with on the hood scoop. All right, so we're ready to go in that aspect. I got this kit from Amazon. I think it was like 49 bucks. Some of the kits wanted 50 bucks or 60 bucks just for the gun. This one came with its own gun. It's called Big Bong adhesive. It's a 2-part. It's supposed to be really good for panels, so I'm going to give it a try and see how it goes. I'm going to try to conclude, you guys. I'm going to put the camera right here. Hopefully you can see what's going on. But it's pretty self-explanatory. The gun here, it goes, you know, slips right on there. This comes down. We're going to take this cover off, and I guess then we just put this on there. I guess ooh. As I speak, I can't get it on there, so let me see how I can figure this out. Oh, I see. It's got a little V here, so I guess the little V goes with it, and then that turns. All right, see a little V to line it up. I should pay closer attention. So I guess as I squeeze this, the 2 parts will come out into this little mixer tube, and we'll be ready to go. We're just going to roll with it. It says I have a 5-minute working time, so we'll hope that we can meet that criteria. Oh, came out. Failure already. Alright guys, well, that started off a little rough. I actually wasted a tube. I guess I didn't have it all the way in. See how the ends of these got bent? It kept trying to pop out of the gun. I don't know if that was me or the product. The second one, I mean, I did the exact same thing, but I pushed it really hard and kind of held this, and it worked. Alright, I guess that's what you get when you try to save a buck. I don't know, but man, this stuff's hardening up already. I mean, you can see where it dripped onto the car cover for the Nova right here, and it's like tacky. It's like a gum right now. It's an epoxy. It says 24 hours to set up. I'm going to give it a little longer than that because of the fact that it's only about 59-60 degrees right now, so we'll give it plenty of time. I did exactly like Mike said up there in Canada. I put enough on there so that whenever I bolted it down, it oozed out, and then I just ran my finger around. All right, you can see as I ran my finger all the way around. So we'll let that get good and dry, and hopefully this sands as nice as the stuff he had. I don't know what kind of panel adhesive he used, but it should be close. All right, so let me get set back up, and let's see if we could fix these brackets up. All right guys, well, we got the dip out. My original brackets I made did not work. They were too weak. All right, I had to put a reinforcement plate in this channel because the channel was flexing. So I put those in each side, and then I got this one out fairly quickly. But whenever I went to that side and I would push it in, you know, because there's extra metal, it would just bring it back over here. So what I ended up doing was I put a tiny relief cut right here in that plate. I should have just left that out like I did on the bottom when I took that back out, but you live and you learn. And once I put that relief in there, I put that one on, and it's right back to where it was pre hood scoop, but with it's got a tiny dip, but nothing to worry about. If you come around and look on this side, I have a little bit of body work from, I attempted that first set of brackets, so I got a little pinhole there, but I'll fix this up, body work this. But other than that, it looks pretty good. Let me put it down and show it to you in the down position. All right guys, well there it is. We got it in. All right, the hood scoop is installed. The dip is mostly out. There's still some right there and a little bit right there, but overall it's where it was before we cut the hole in the hood. It is what it is, and I think it looks fantastic. So for a homemade front tilt nose for our 55 gasser, looks awesome, and I absolutely love the Super Duty hood scoop. I've been waiting to get that on there, and that just looks killer. I mean, and look how the
Look how the epoxy's setting up. I did a little tiny test right here, and it sands really nice. So we'll be able to sand that right in, and it's just gonna look like it's graphed right onto the hood. Really come out well. Like I say, right here I got a little bit of body work to do now that I tried those first set of brackets. They just didn't work out, all right? But we solved the puzzle. At least we solved it for us. I'm really happy with the job, all right? So that's what I got for you guys in this video. I hope you enjoyed it. I enjoyed making it and had a really good time. So, hey, if you know anybody that wants to come over and check out our channel, recommend us. See what happens. I don't know. Anyway, until next time, take care, everybody.